Nadine, the author of FAWKES and the Out of Time series, and also ROMANOV, which was just announced last week. But today, I'm super excited because I'm joining my first ever BookTubeAthon. I just recently learned about BookTubeAthon, and what it is a week-long readathon, but on BookTube from July 30th to August 5th. You can read as much or as little as you want during that time. Usually when these things happen, there's always some sort of readathon going on or book club, and I'm never able to read because I'm either on deadline or I'm traveling or I have other books that I have to read. But for the first time in forever, I get to read whatever I want. I have finished my deadline for ROMANOV for now, so I have a gap between deadlines and I actually have time to read. So finally a readathon is happening at the same time I can read, and I'm 19 books behind on my Goodreads challenge. 19. 19. I'm ashamed. I shouldn't have even told you. They have a lot of prompts to help you pick a book to read. I don't need help picking a book to read because I'm so behind on my TBR. I've missed reading a lot. I just want to clear the air first. I'm a slow reader. One of the BookTubeAthon challenges is to try and read 7 books in these 7 days. That's not gonna happen for me. Nope. Even if they're like little tiny thin books. So, number 1, I'm a very slow reader. Number 2, I never stick to my chosen TBR. I'm going to be showing you 5 books that are on my read list for the BookTubeAthon. I may not read those 5 books. I'm gonna try to, because right now I feel like those are the books that I'm in the mood for. But if halfway through the BookTubeAthon I'm like, I don't wanna read that, I wanna read that book, I'm gonna pick up the book that I wanna read. There's no reason to force yourself to read something that you don't wanna read at that time. You might as well pick up what you wanna read. It just makes sense! Another reason I'm probably not going to get through all of these books is because my mom is visiting, and she's the best! But she's also visiting during the BookTubeAthon, so I'm not gonna be reading all day for multiple days. I'm gonna be hanging out with mom, and we're gonna go to bookstores and sit down and read and have coffee because that's what my mom and I do. But I won't be reading as much as if I just had like a week with all of this extra time. Okay, the very first BookTubeAthon challenge that I actually am going to participate in is to flip a coin to figure out which book you're going to read. I have 2 books. I couldn't decide between the 2, so I'm going to flip a coin to tell you which one I end up with. And one is the Russian Fairy book. I'm reading it for some research for ROMANOV, and then this is Best Russian Short Stories. So this is an old book from 1917, which is 1 year before my book ROMANOV actually takes place. I want to read one of these because I am going to be getting my book back for another editing pass pretty soon. I'm going to flip a coin. This one's heads, this one's tails. No reason why. I have a penny. Wait, what did I say? Okay, this one's heads, the black one's, wait, tails! Wait. Heads, tails, heads, tails, heads, tails. Okay. It's tails! Which is this one? That one's too thick, so I'm changing my mind and I'm gonna go with heads. That worked. The next book on my TBR is The Wrath on the Dawn by Renee Ahdieh. I've actually already read this book, but I have not read the sequel. I loved book 1, which is a retelling of Arabian Nights, and I've really been wanting to finish this duology, especially because I also want to read Flame in the Mist, which is by her, but I feel like I owe it to these books to finish this duology before starting another one by her. Next up is Heart of Iron, A Girl Without a Past, A Boy Without a Future. Ha 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 ha! I got this book in my owl crate from a couple months back. It's an Anastasia retelling set in space. So, because my next book is an Anastasia retelling, but historical fantasy, I wanted to read another Anastasia retelling, and Anastasia in space sounds awesome. Also, look at the purple edges! Oh! The next book that I'm going to read is actually a nonfiction because for my sanity, I always like to have a nonfiction thrown in there because if I'm just reading a whole bunch of fictions, it's just a lot of fiction and I need some sort of like growth book that will help me grow mentally, spiritually, emotionally, all of that. So I have Uninvited by Lisa Turkish, which everybody says amazing things. It's about overcoming just rejection or just feeling like you're not good enough. So I'm really excited to read this, especially as I'm kind of entering into FAWKES just launched and ROMANOV is being edited, and so the constant writer struggle is dealing with rejection or just dealing with feeling like our writing is not good enough, or we're not good enough, or it's just never going to be good enough. So I'll probably be reading this over the course of the entire 7 days, while I'm also reading fiction. Also on my list is My Plain Jane by Cynthia Hand, Brody, Ashton, and Jody, Meadows. I loved My Lady Jane, the first book in the Lady Janie series, and the best part is you don't have to read them in order. They're all completely different stories, not even in the same time period, but they're amazing! So I've been waiting to read My Plain Jane, which is a retelling of Jane Eyre, but with comedy, which Jane Eyre really, really needed to have happened. The last book that I'm going to read is Wires and Nerve by Marissa Meyer. This is a graphic novel. It's actually my first graphic novel ever. I love Marissa Meyer, and I know that I'm going to love this, and I'm excited to jump into the graphic novel sea of awesomeness. So there you have it. Nadine is joining BookTubeAthon because she's new to BookTube. She likes to read, and that's all she needs. Dun, 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 dun. So let me know what is on your TBR. Whether that's just your August TBR or if you're doing BookTubeAthon. Let me know in the comments what you're currently reading and what is next up on your to-read list. If you want to keep up on my videos about writing and reading and just the publishing process, please click subscribe or the little bell icon that gives you an email alert every time I post a new video. So with that, tally-ho!